Hello, everyone. Welcome today, April 16, Monday, Mentors Monday. And I'm very happy to be here presenting Dave Daughtrey. I met him, I have the privilege to meet him last convention in Utah. You're an amazing person. And I feel like a more connection because I met you in that moment in my life. And yeah, today we are going to talk about an important topic, especially for me, about how to tell our story, personal story, and more things. You're here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you everyone for joining in. Yes, I remember last convention, by the way, and I can't believe it's already convention time again, coming up here in what, 10 days? So I'm looking forward to going up to Utah for that convention. Today, we're going to be talking a bit about just finishing up about the pay plan, just a few strategies, a few things that I've learned over the years in my networking career, which has been 43 years now. And first of all, it's really important to understand that with the 4Life pay plan, there's two things you want to focus on. One, your 3-level volume. I say never put someone below somebody when you're starting your business, unless it happens to be, let's say you live in some place, you live in California like me, and you have two people that know each other that live somewhere else across the country or in another country, and they know each other. Then you might want to say, okay, this one I think has more desire, they're hungrier, I believe they're more experienced, possibly a better leader. Well, then you might want to put that one up here and put somebody below them. And you're just doing that to be strategic because of the region. All right. They know each other. They live in the same area. But please, when you do that, you have to make sure that the recipient, the beneficiary, who's going to be the sponsor of this person you're putting underneath, they go to work and understand that they're going to adopt. They're going to, and they already know the person. And even if they didn't know the person, they have to declare themselves the upline, the sponsor. That doesn't mean that they're better or they have more ego. No, it just simply means they're there to serve the downline. So because if they don't, then you're going to be doing it for both of them anyways. If you're a good sponsor, if you're a good upline. So you're going to be doing both the work for both as you're presenting and serving them, and yet someone's on your second level because you put them down below. So what I see happen quite often, people don't listen to me when I say that. And so they start putting people below people, all right? And all of a sudden, they find themselves working on their second level, third level, fourth level, and it starts to grow down below. All of a sudden, they start doing 5,000 in volume and 10,000 and 20,000. I've got a situation right now where someone's doing close to 200,000 in volume, and they're struggling on their 3 levels because, and that, it's not a bad problem to have, but when you declare yourself a leader and you start working the downline is going to draw on those resources. They're going to use you because you know how to present. You've got the answers. And so downline's calling the upline. So you spend 90% of your time now working the downline. And honestly, that's a simpler thing to do. And I'll even go as far as saying it's an easier thing to do, working the downline, because all you have to do is show up. You're not actively recruiting people because you're working your downline. Now, I'm in that situation myself 90% of the time. I enjoy recruiting. I love recruiting. But my hours are taken up working the various projects that I have going on with my downline, whether it's in Malaysia, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in the US, wherever it is, I'm working my downline, you see. But when you're starting out the business, you have to keep it balanced. Work your downline, but at the same time, pay attention to your 3 levels. My first I would say probably a year and a half in For Life, maybe even going on 2 years. I was working the balancing act, trying to get to the 20,003 levels. Now, what helps when you have someone that you sponsor, and you're actually the sponsor, they're on your front line, and they are also trying to get to bronze or above. That means they have to do 20,003 levels. So they're going to contribute a substantial amount of life points to your 3 levels. But if they were on level 2, well, that means they're going to be, honestly, the contribution goes from probably about like 60 to 70% down to like 20%. Because if you think about it, if they're on your front line, level 1, you're going to get level 2, level 3. So you're going to get them plus 2 levels of their business will count towards your 3 levels. But what if they were on level 2? You're going to get them and just the people that they sponsor. That's it. So if they're not actively recruiting, a lot of people, you basically, have given up 1 level of your 3 levels. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. Let's say Siobhan sponsors me and I sponsor Claudia and Claudia sponsors JT. That's Siobhan's 3 levels right there. I'm level 1. So what's Siobhan going to get from me? Unless I'm a big retailer or if I'm unless I'm a big seller of product using my shop where it's going through my account. Let's say all I do is 100 life points. All Siobhan's going to get from me each month is 100 life points. Think about it. If she has to do 20,000 to get to bronze and I'm giving her just 100, not much. Okay. And let's say that I sponsor Claudia and all Claudia does is her 100 life points a month. That's 2 levels taken up now. And she's got 200 life points. That's it. And then let's say Claudia sponsors JT. Now, JT is the superstar. He's going for platinum. But JT is level 3. So Siobhan's going to get JT's 100 life points. But JT's got 15 people that he's sponsored. And they got people, and they got people. Siobhan's doing 100,000 life points a month. But in her 3 levels, all she's got is Dave's 100, Claudia's 100, and JT's 100. 300 life points in her 3 levels, yet she's doing 100,000 in volume. I guarantee you, Siobhan is going to be pulling her hair out. She'll be frustrated. You see, I see that happen often. That's why you don't want to facilitate that by putting people below people. So if Siobhan had put Claudia below me, she just shot herself in the foot because she could have had, all of JT's front line if she had Claudia on level 1, JT on level 2. You see what I'm saying, you guys? So the strategy is you just go, you recruit. You also are going to have sales. Look, selling our products is not a difficult thing to do, you guys. We have got amazing products. From energy ghost sticks to Rio Vita. By the way, did you see, Jim Michael, I saw that post you made about the patent. Corlab got a new patent on the Rio Vita. So we've got amazing products. So selling the products isn't a difficult thing to do. I mean, everybody could really do 500,000 life points on their own ID number each month just selling products, okay? But when it comes to building the business, getting people that want to also grow and build a business, that takes a bit more effort. And that's, honestly, that's where it's important to understand. We're talking some strategies here, okay? People buy you first. We talked about family. That's the first thing we talked about, when Siobhan said that, it's a pleasure for her to be part of our family. All right. Or she's happy that she's part of our, in Spanish. Okay. Well, that's what's important here is that people buy you. If you spend your time, and I'm not saying it's going to be 100% this way. Look, relationships are a funny thing. People come and people go. All right. But if you keep your relationship strong with your people by serving them, by being there, You know, if they need support, they've got someone that needs a presentation, you just do the best you can to serve your people. But at the same time, things happen. All right. So the lesson for me that I learned, never burn bridges. Don't burn bridges. And that's a difficult thing, so especially in this business, because look, let's face it, if you're competitive, you're going to have a bit of ego, and that's okay. I mean, ego can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. All right. It's a good thing if it motivates you to work hard. All right. I think everybody's got a little bit of ego because you want to succeed. You want to get to platinum. All right. You're competitive. That's okay. But it can be destructive as well. All right. Let's say that you happen to, you have a riff, meaning that you don't get along with somebody in your downline, something happens, all right, and they leave. And let me tell you, this happens often. They leave and they think that their leadership is better than yours. Therefore, they start to pull people that they know in your team. This happened to one of my people in another country, all right? This is her first time in this industry of network marketing, never done it before. A very sweet person, just in fact, kind of soft-spoken, had a team going, got to bronze, qualified as bronze regularly. And one of her people left. And the interesting part about it, really, she's not the one that kind of facilitated or caused this. Just so happened that he was married to one of her family members, her daughter, actually. And this guy, the children got a divorce. He left, all right, and was bitter about things and tried taking a lot of her organization. And he did. He took some of them. Okay. It's happened to me. I lost at one time, you guys, I lost 2 golds and about 18 bronzes that all left in my organization. They were doing 1 million life points a month. All right. Now, I did my best to prevent it because I had worked hard for that team, but it just so happened that the guys that left, all right, they had huge egos and they had their claws into these people because they knew them before For Life. They were with them in Amway, all right? So they had such a tight relationship that when those guys left, their bond with those other people was stronger than my bond. But having said that, some stayed with me. All right. And the ones that stayed with me, and some of you, I don't know if anybody here was part of that when all that happened. This is back in 2007. It happened. Well, the ones that stayed with me have a great For Life business. The ones that left have nothing. They lost everything. I met one of them in 2019. I was down in Chile, and one of the top leaders in Chile called me up. He knew where I was, the hotel I was at. I said, Dave, can I come have dinner with you? I said, sure. We sat down and had dinner. He cried, literally cried. And he said that he lost everything. In fact, because of all that happened, he went broke. He lost his wife. His family kind of abandoned him because he was doing so well in For Life. They were doing almost 1 million life points, that organization. And he was probably making, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000 a month. Went to zero. So my point is this, you guys. Don't burn bridges. Always leave your door open, all right? But if someone's literally attacking you, then obviously at that point you got to shut the door, all right? But I have found that if you leave the door open, this business, we're talking strategies, this business is like a revolving door, okay? You're always on the inside. This is your home, all right? This is what you're building your future, all right? You're going to have people come in the revolving door and go out the revolving door. Some will stay, some will leave, then they'll come back, they'll leave, they'll come back. I've got people that have left and come back like 4 or 5 times. Some of you might know Eduardo Mendieta. I don't know, but Eduardo Mendieta, it's like 5 times now. He's left and come back. I wouldn't have Nusi in Brazil, my Brazilian bronze, if Eduardo, I think it was like the 5th time he came back was when he introduced me to someone who introduced me to Nusi. So as a networker, what I do is I work the downline. If someone happens to leave in the downline where they don't do anything, I'm always trying to inspire them and motivate them to build. but not everyone's going to. Some will, some won't. So what? You work with the ones that want to, you see? So you're inside this revolving door. People are going to come and they're going to go. That's just the way your business is. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to count on one hand 5 of your lifelong leaders that you personally, all right, have sponsored, that you're working with, all right, that will make you a fortune working with them, all right? And you don't know who they are. So that's why you recruit, sponsor. And you have to have the attitude of eventually working with those that deserve your time, your talent, your energy. All right. In the beginning, you don't know who they are. So you give it to everybody. You see, you're going to work with everybody. It's like throwing mud on the wall and you're going to see what sticks. You see? And eventually you start finding some people that are sticking. You start working with them because they're out there, they're working the business, you know. And let me get back to Nusi real quick, my Brazilian bronze. Eduardo, in this revolving door, like the 5th time he came back, he calls me up and says, "Hey, Dave, I want to start building." He was in a coffee company. I think it was Organo Gold coffee company. Comes back and says, "Hey, Dave, I want to start building For Life again." Okay, Eduardo, no problem. And he introduces me to a guy in Uruguay. We're not in Uruguay. But Freddie, now you guys, again, we're talking strategies. I'm always thinking, how could I strategize? How could I take advantage of this situation? The guy's in Uruguay. We're not in Uruguay. I'm not interested really in opening Uruguay right now. I got my hands in so many places. Last thing I want to do right now is try to open Uruguay. But I asked Freddie, I said, "Freddie, where in Uruguay do you live?" He says, "I live about a block from the border of Brazil." And then he says, "I even have a Brazilian, what do you call it? He's legally, he can go into Brazil and work." And I said, "Well, if you can work in Brazil, let's build Brazil." And this is before Brazil even really took off. This is in 2019. It was July of 2019 to be exact. And I said, "Let's build Brazil." I said, "Who do you know in Brazil?" He says, "Well, I know this lady, you know." One person is all he could think of. And I said, "Get her to the table. Can you introduce her to me?" So what's the lesson here? I'm always putting myself out there. I'm the storyteller. I'm the presenter. All right. I feel pretty good that when I talk to someone, I can sell myself. What I mean? That I'm going to inspire them, motivate them, why they should be doing this business, about our products, the opportunity. Do you want to change your life? Come on board. I'll work with you too. Okay. Now I try to be careful not to oversell myself and underdeliver. I don't want to tell them I'm going to do everything for them and then I don't. But at the same time, I want to give them enough to say where they say, I'll give this a try. What's the lesson? People are going to buy you. They're going to buy your inspiration. They're going to buy your motivation. They're going to buy your energy. They're going to buy your knowledge. So if you've taken the time to prepare yourself enough with the messaging, which we're going to get into in a minute, all right, they'll buy you. Because fear of loss. If you're telling them, look, let's do this together. Let's be partners. Let's do this together. All right. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And now most people, when I talk to them, I can kind of sense, whether or not there's, they're in a situation financially where they need to make some extra money. When it came to Nusi, she was very ill. All right. She was sick. She was broke. All right. She was desperate, actually. And it honestly took a lot. It was a lot of work for me to sell her one bottle of Transfer Factor. I got her to buy one bottle. But little by little, from July to August, September through 19, she made diamond by the time December came around. Hey, Claudia, when was that? Because she went to the convention.
2020. It
was
the
March?
convention that was canceled. Yeah, March.
Yeah, she showed up there and you met her. that was part of an agreement, actually, with Brazil. Any of the new diamonds could go to the convention, and she made it. And I told her, I said, if you make diamond news, see, I will go to Brazil, and I will do a meeting with you in Maringá, which is where she lives. Well, here's what's interesting. I went there in December of 19, before COVID, and during that time, I met somebody new. What's the lesson here? If you're a networker, habitually, it becomes a habit that your antennas are up, and you have to be, how can I say this? Not fanatical. You're not a fanatic. You don't run around screaming for life with flags, no. But you're always in your mind, you're taking advantage of every opportunity you can to talk to somebody. Okay. I admit, I sometimes shut down. I have to. I mean, I have to have a bit of a balanced life. But when I sense it, man, I go into recruiting mode. That happened on one of my trips to Brazil. It was actually December, the first one I did in 2019, Anderson Carpus. I met Anderson in December. Got him to sign up. I went back in January and I started doing some work with him a little bit. So I spent all the month of January before COVID. Thank heavens, because that got things started. Whereas today, I've got down there, I don't know, I got 1, 2, in that new leg, 2 bronzes, and probably about 14 or 15 presidentials, a couple presidential elites. And they're really taking off. They're doing well. What's my point? What's the lesson here? We're networkers, you guys. Okay. My goal with this team, with this family, all of us, is to help everybody be the best networker you can be. I believe network marketing is the future. I believe that right now, timing is really good for our business because the whole world is in crisis. Wouldn't you guys agree with me? A lot of crisis going on out there. During times of financial crisis or economic crisis, people move. People open their minds. If everything was great and everything was perfect in their life, they wouldn't be open-minded because they're happy. Everything's good. Why change it? But when things get shaken up, now they start looking. I'm telling you guys, these next years are great years for us if you're prepared. That means you're constantly scouting. And remember, you're a networker. So your goal is to build a network. But in the process of building the network, you're going to come across people that want to just buy a bottle of product. I don't turn them down. I love it when somebody wants to buy. I show them where they can get the product. If I can sign them up, I'll sign them up, but they can buy it from my shop if they want. I kind of prefer they buy it from their own. So try to get them an ID number, show them how to buy it real quick, buy it, have it shipped. If you're in Europe, buy it from the European site. If you're in New Zealand, buy it from the New Zealand site. The point is, I don't want them calling me for bottles of product, honestly, because I am always in building mode. Okay. So let's talk about, and that's a bit of strategy there. Okay. When it comes to positioning again, you're going to balance your 3 levels with building your structure, your downline. Okay. Let's talk about messaging now. Because I said earlier, people buy you first. All right. We've gone through messaging quite a bit. All right. The 4 areas of messaging. And I think, honestly, that the first area is extremely important. And that's the area of why this business. What makes this business so great of networking? And I've never found anybody yet that disagrees with me when I ask them, would you like to work from home? Would you like to work your own schedule? Would you like to have a multinational business where you can take advantage of globalization all over the world? In other words, the world's your marketplace. If somebody over in Europe, South America wants to be part of your business, you can invite them and you can have them be part of your team, right? Would you like to work with people that are all synergistically working together towards common goals, where everyone is supporting each other? You're part of a family, you're part of a community, you're part of a team. Would you like to get paid for what you start? Start something today, get paid months, years, decades later for your efforts today. Whereas the benefit of that would be if something happened to you, heaven forbid, you've still got a residual income coming in that can take care of you and your family. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Would you like to do something where you can earn while you learn? In other words, if you've never done this before, come on in, get involved. You can earn money while you're learning the business. I'm not asking you to go to school for 4 years and then, get started. Get started now. First day, start making money. So all these things that we're talking about, and then capital, if somebody says, well, what's the cost? Well, the cost to get started, $150, $200. But if you want to get in the fast start where you're making more money, then yeah, you're probably talking about a $600 investment. All right. Most people, when they hear they can start a business and then you tell them they're going to get an app to run their business where they can share links, they can look at reports, they got all kinds of marketing content. It's a university right in your phone to learn. You get your own web domain, with your name. You get all that. It's included. And then you've got no operating expenses. You've got no rent to pay. You've got no employees. You don't have to deal with federal taxes. You don't have to deal with managing inventories, licenses, none of that stuff. So that's why I think it's so important, you guys, to understand the business model. See, I find that conversation, I find it, interestingly, curious is probably the best word. When I talk to someone, I find they're curious about this kind of business. So really, I can work from home, I can work with a team of people, and then it's in the health and wellness industry, a $4.3 trillion industry. So all of these things, if you've got them memorized in your head, the more you talk to people, the more comfortable you get. You'll be amazed how many people are interested these days in that kind of business. So know the bullets of the business model, know the benefits, and then the risk. What's the risk? What do you have to lose? Nothing. Maybe you might invest some time. Give it a year. In fact, when I first got started, you guys, I was telling people, give me a year of your life. And if at the end of 1 year, you're not satisfied, great. You can leave. All right. But I'll bet you anything, you'll be happy with where you are in a year. Now, these are people I personally had sponsored and worked with. In my 4-life career, I had one person. Tom Cherry was his name, Tom Cherry. He actually, after 1 year, said, Dave, it's been a year now, and it hasn't, cut it for me. I'm going to leave. And I'm going to take some of the people that I've talked to. Well, he could do that. And he did. He took a few people, but guess what? Those that stayed with me today, that organization, they probably do about 2 million a month. All the Philippines, the entire Philippines is under that downline. That would have been under him had he stayed. You see? So my point is that, again, some will, some won't. So what? All right. But the strategy behind this one, you guys, you need to be like Mother Goose when you're starting. How's Mother Goose? She knows all of her little chickies. Level 1, level 2, level 3. I would say level 4. Everyone in 4 levels of your business, you want to know them all. All right. Couple things you want to do. You can look at reports. You can see who's actively engaged in building the business. You get on these calls. You can see who's actively involved in the Zooms. If they're in your downline, work with them, inspire them. All right, motivate them, even mentor them. Everybody can be a mentor. So it's real important that you work with those that deserve your time. Well, the people that are active deserve your time. So what happens in the beginning? You're sponsoring people for yourself. All of a sudden, boom, you got someone that's working the business. Now you start working with them. They start bringing people to the table. You have prepared your message so you can talk to them about the business model. You can present. All right. So in your messaging, again, the first one is the business model, the benefits, the risks. The second, why for life? So as you're working your downline, you're talking to people, they're bringing people to the table, tell them about your wonderful company. This is your company, my company, for life. I love my company. 25 years of history, multinational, health and wellness, over 80 patents on our products, scientifically proven. All right. We're a research company too. I tell people proudly, I have a research company. We research science in the field of health and wellness. I don't say nutrition. I don't like to say nutrition, honestly. I mean, nutrition's out there everywhere. It's just kind of thrown around. I like health and wellness because some of our products have no nutritional value, Gold factor. There's no nutritional value to gold factor, but what it does, it activates neurons in the brain, and it also protects telomeres by activating telomerase, which is an enzyme in your body that actually is anti-aging. It helps you age slower, but it has no nutritional value like vitamins and minerals and things like that. So health and wellness is what I like to talk about. My company, multinational, multi-billion-dollar company in the health. So when you say that, it makes you feel like my company. It is. If you're a For Life affiliate, you're licensed. You are licensed to represent this company. And you proudly want to do that. All right. So when you're talking to people, they're going to compare some people. And trust me, you're going to see this more and more and more as time goes on over the next few years, as people are looking for options to make some extra money. They're going to compare your company, For Life, with other companies. I got a message just the other day. I want to show you guys this here. You guys, actually, Claudia, I got to pass it to you real quick.
Yes, sir.
Just give me a second, you guys. I've got somebody coming. I got to shut my door so my beast doesn't go out and attack him. Hang on a second. I'll be
I'll
right
do
back.
some announcements while you go. Don't worry. Okay, so let's just work on that agenda, guys. Let's just do a little commercial of 1 minute. Since this was like a double talk, this was a third part of 3. If you need to go back to the YouTube channel just to check on part 1 and 2, we are uploading those, and we are starting with delivering a message. So that's my first note of today. Now, tonight, we actually have a really good real talk. And the real talk for tonight is one of our own, Ivan Villanueva. And so he's going to give it a little bit of a different angle. And that's why I want everybody to join us, because it's not specific to a For Life talk. We're so used to also hearing and seeing Ivan talk just about products, talk about ProTF, talk about being a personal trainer, because that's the way that, we promote him. So tonight is going to be interesting because Ivan is going to be with Dr. Ramunda and Dr. Ronnie. And so it's going to be a really good angle. Bring your guests. Make sure that you know that this is a great way to bring in the community. Ivan is one of, like I said to Jillian, he's one of these poster boys for Life. Everybody likes Ivan. He's a great person to bring a guest and really bring it home, because can you imagine that combination, Dr. Rani, Dr. Munda, and Ivan talking about health and wellness and the importance of self-love, and it's not geared only towards women. So this one is one of those real talks. Make sure that you bring men to tonight's meeting. So that's the first announcement. We'll have another announcement after we finish with Dave, who's back.
Great. Sorry, guys. part of the what goes with this business, you know. I've got somebody actually coming to the house here and want to make sure that my boy Odin doesn't go out and try to chase him. So back to your company, For Life. You know, there's network marketing companies that pop up all the time. There's a statistic I feel it's very important for all of us to memorize, to know. One, and I repeat this a lot, one in 100 network marketing companies make it past 10 years. They all die off, they fizzle out. Okay. And, you know, I have my own beliefs as to why, but, you know, it's not easy starting a network marketing company because it's so fickle. It's the only word I can think of, meaning that you are dependent. The company is 100% dependent on its affiliates. So ask yourself this question: if For Life was 100% dependent on you, would the company be in business today? Think about it. Are you producing enough each month that this company can survive from your efforts? All right. That's how I felt when I started. And the company about failed. For Life just about didn't make it. All right. There was a time where David Lisenby, I was in the business about close to a year, when he called me and said, we need to talk. He basically just said he wasn't sure if he's going to be able to continue to pay the bills. That's what happens, you see. So what do most companies do? They go into debt. All right. They start borrowing money to pay their bills. All right. They have to maintain an image. If they started out, this is what happens in most companies. They try to maintain this image of lifestyle because that's what drives people. I want a new car. I want a new house. And so they start giving away car, giving away, you show how you're going to get a house, have the house paid for. By the way, I don't even believe in that stuff because it just, someone's got to pay for it, right? They don't give it to you for free. Whether the company's paying for it, you know, or you're paying for it, someone's going to pay for it. All right. But the point is this: these companies don't make it past just a few years. And I've seen some giant companies that were billion-dollar companies fail. Mona V. You guys heard of Mona V? All right. Jeunesse, Advocare, Zango, Nutrition for Life. All right. So, you know, it kind of saddens me in a way because it's not good for the industry. I meet people all the time that say, oh yeah, I was in such and such company. You know, they never work. Well, they do work if you pick the right company, you see. So back to our company. It's real important that we all understand our company. Know your company. All right. Where are we based out of? We're a research company, always investigating. In fact, I'm really excited about what they're going to be introducing in 10 days at convention. All right. Some new products. So we're blessed to have such a great company that we can represent and bring people in, that our products bring value to their life. So in your messaging, one, the business itself. All right. The benefits. What makes it so wonderful? All these bullets I've been talking about. Two, your company. Can you tell them about your company? Even if you give them just 5 or 6 facts about your company. You know, being multinational, debt-free. All right. I talked to someone the other day that was with the company and it went down. And the reason it went down is because they were over leveraged. They couldn't pay their bills anymore. They were trying to maintain this image. They just couldn't do it anymore. David Lisenby's not like that. You know, David Lisenby, you know, he's very conservative. So, you know, the company will always remain debt-free. All right. That's what makes it so strong. And that's why we can pay every day, by the way. For Life can pay every day because they don't have to keep the cash so they can pay their debts. Okay. So all these things are so important to us, you guys. Next, the products. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we do have products that we want people to continue to use. And one common denominator I hear all the time about For Life, the products. Great products. People love the products. All right. They work, They're scientifically proven. There's research behind them. In many cases, there's clinical studies or trials that have been done on the products, like transfer factor, activating the immune system within 2 hours. And I've been hearing more about the immune system, by the way, on TV and radio. I don't watch much TV and don't listen to a lot of radio, but lately I have heard, different commercials talking about the immune system. That was a lot during COVID, by the way. I'll never forget Ocean Spray cranberry juice. This guy standing in a field of cranberries talking to each other, and the guy says, "It's even good for the immune system." My point is this: we've got products that everybody can use. Everybody. So take the time to know a bit about your products. Don't have to be a doctor. Don't have to explain it all, because at the end of the day, what are you trying to get that person to do? Try them. I can explain it all to you if you want. All right, I'll explain enough, hopefully, to make you curious enough to want to try it. But try it. You see, so you have to be able to explain the products enough to people so they'll want to try the products. All right, and you're going to know in your messaging, in your conversation, you're going to know which direction you're going. I always say, when I'm in presentation mode, talking to someone, whether it's me talking to them for me, or I'm doing it with my downline because someone has brought someone new to the table, I always look at it like a game of chess. You guys have all played chess, all right, or checkers, all right? You make a move, they make a move. You make a move, they make a move. For me, I make a move, and then you make a move, all right? Well, my move in my conversation, what I'm going to talk about, is highly dependent on the direction that you move. So if you're going down the path of products, that's telling me that you probably have some health challenge and you want to know about the products. Great, let's talk about that. Because if I talk about something that you're not interested in, then what's the point? I'm gonna lose you. But if I talk about something you are interested in, I've got a real good chance I'm going to get you. Okay. So if we're going down the path of products, let's talk product. I can talk transfer factor. I can talk gold factor. I can talk KBU, cardio, recall. I can talk digest for life, microbiome, which I know Claudia's an expert on that one. So, I can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but let's talk about it enough to the point where you're like, okay, I want to try it. And that shouldn't take, a 5-hour conversation. You should be able to establish that pretty quickly. And if you're not going to get anywhere with them and they're like, they want to try it, move on. Don't burn bridges. All right. Leave the door open, but move on. Next. Okay. If you're going down the path of making money, which is always the path I'm trying to go down, I'm always going that direction, but they're pulling me towards product, no problem. I love my customers. And customers, by the way, can make great distributors or affiliates, right? Networkers. They just start out with the product. But there are others that are hungry to make some money. Those are ones I'm constantly looking for. But even those people have to gain a testimony on the product, because if they're talking about making money and they know nothing about the product, it's going to be very tough. But if they have a personal experience, or they use the products, whether it's Energy Go Sticks, whether it's Rio Vita, whether Gold Factor in the US, I tell people with Gold Factor, I find that people remember their dreams because it activates neurons in the brain. So you start remembering your dreams. All right. That happened to me. Still does. So the point is, I'm always trying to go down the path of opportunity. Okay. Once I get someone that's like that, then I start doing the best I can to work with them. All right. And one thing I've learned, and then we'll kind of close this and see if there's any questions. In my plan of action, which is really 4 simple steps: prepare your message, practice your message, talk to yourself, talk to your kids, talk to your spouse, talk to your pet, your cat, your dog. Just talk. Get better at messaging. All right. Number 2, the prospecting. And this is the part where I wish that I had a way to get everybody to prospect. For some reason, people are afraid. I still, to me, that's the $1 million question as to why. You know, what fear holds somebody back from sharing something with somebody? All right. But that's the lifeblood of the business, prospecting. I know plenty of people that are well prepared. They know so much about our products and so much about even the business. I mean, they could do the best presentation in the world, but they don't do it. They know everything about it. They got a PhD, they got a doctorate degree in For Life, yet they haven't sponsored anybody. So the lifeblood of the business is taking action, because the action creates results. And that's how I was when I started, you guys. For me, it was more about action and knowledge. I'll figure, you know what? I'll figure it out along the way. I was so broke and so hungry to start making some money that I'll just talk to people. I'll call on lists of people and introduce myself. And it wasn't easy. I worked lists. I'd ask them, you know, I'd been in network marketing, but I was asking people, do you have a list? That's how I met Tom Cherry, by the way, the guy that left me. I got him off a list. Just call him, saying, hey, there's a new company. I want to talk to you about it. Even today, you can call somebody and say, we're a new company. If that's what opens the door, to them it's new. To you, it might be 20 years, but to them it's new. All right. So it's all about how you, in your messaging, how you deliver that. But you have to be prepared. Then you have to prospect. That's the lifeblood. And then 3, and this is the area that I think I've done pretty well at. That's identifying. When you talk to people, identifying with that person, connecting with that person. All right. Knowing that they're going to buy you. All right. And in order for them to buy you, you have to be like a rainbow a little bit, meaning that you adapt to the person you're talking to. All right. If they want to talk about product, let's talk about product. If they want to talk about opportunity, let's talk about opportunity. All right. If you want to, really get into the nuts and bolts of all this stuff, I can do that. I'm not going to do it forever because I'm building a business here in my mind, but understand what's in my mind doesn't always come out of my mouth. A lot of times I'm thinking something, but saying something else because I'm trying to be cautious. And Gabby would tell me this. She said, Dave, you're an overthinker. I am. I admit, I'm a bit of an overthinker. I think that sometimes that can be detrimental, but at the same time, it can be good. Okay. So, hey, Claudia, I apologize. I got to pass it to you for a quick second. Sorry about that.
It's fine. It's time for the second commercial. So, hey, Dr. Gina's here. I want to know if Dr. Gina can give us some insight. I don't know if he's able to take off his mic, but tomorrow is Health Talk. And if you have been missing the Health Talks, do not worry anymore, because we were not able to put them on YouTube. Just, for America, it was a little hard, but now we have them for you on the Time for Life group. And so if you missed any of those Dr. Gina talks, he usually sends you the recording privately. But now if you were, too busy to ask for the recording and get the recording, guess what? We have them all for you in Time for Life. Time for Life is a private group, but everybody's invited and everybody's welcome. And obviously bring your guests. Everybody means not only if you're a For Life affiliate, but the idea is that you tag people, and somebody's going to have to listen to these things that we have there. Last talk was, if I'm correct, ADHD, because last week was postponed, but the previous one was on the ADHD, and a lot of people have a lot of questions. And so it comes from a doctor. People like to hear these things from doctors. And at the end, he does a little nice how to supplement for health on this certain area. But my goodness, what a great group. That group is growing. Make sure that you bring your guests, tag to the testimonials. Thank you, Maddie, for those testimonials. Jesus Gomez, people that have sent those testimonials. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're waiting for more testimonials. So bring your guests, tag them on some health talk or the red hot topic. Oh, Jillian, she wants to say something. Let me see if I have her as co-host. Not yet. Jillian is going to finish that little minute advertisement while Dave is back.
I just want to clarify with the Time for Life group. We are going to be affiliating this group as a Dave Daughtrey driven group, just so you guys are aware. And the reason why, even though I started this up, is because I saw a need for the English market to have somewhere to go. You know, you guys have lots and lots of other countries have so many testimonials, but they're all in Spanish language. So we needed somewhere to archive and put everything in. So this will be eventually, once we were, like Dave and I are working on a project to rebrand Upline Pro and do a bunch of things in there. But part of that testimonial group is not a Jillian group. It's not a English driven group. Is a place where we can archive, and for those that are trying to build an English team, it is under the Dave Daughtrey umbrella. So I don't want anybody thinking that we're here to take, or, you know, this is about building Dave Daughtrey's presence in the US market. I know you guys all have a big commitment to this because you're showing up at these mentor calls. So don't ever hesitate to invite people to that group. There are rules, and we're keeping it private, but typically an English market likes to go to a Facebook group. Not everybody goes to WhatsApp in some markets, and I'm in the Caribbean, so I'm used to WhatsApp, but I also know an English market will go to Facebook to archive things. So that includes, if you go to the guides in the Time for Life testimonial group, there's a ton of health topics, not only with Dr. Regina, but every time I see an English health topic, I try to save it and put it inside that group for other people to reference. And that includes testimonials. So as we get a testimonial, we're uploading it into that group. And this is part of a training that Dave and I have talked about, where I'm going to teach you a very quick 3-step process for prospecting. You know, Dave, you're saying, I don't know how, you know, when I simplify the process, is a 3-step process, and you'll have people wanting to jump all over you to be part of For Life. But we'll do a separate training on that later. But first of all, you got to get people into that community, and you got to be able to tag them on a testimonial that relates to their problem. So you're offering them a solution, whether it's health or wealth. We want both testimonials, not just health. We want wealth testimonials in there. And that's part of your storytelling, because keeping it simple. Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jillian. Yeah, I'm really excited about some of the things that we're working on to help everybody grow their business. So thank you, everybody. I just want to finish by saying this: of my 4-step plan of action, step 3 was identifying who you're talking to, identify with them what their needs are, you know, to get them on board, bring them into your community, your family, your team. All right. But step 4 is solidifying. And that just simply means that through the days, the weeks, the months, the years, the decades, all right, you were there and you keep your relationship strong with your people. You know, it is a revolving door. People come, people go, you know, but I look at the relationships that I have, like J. Michael, we go back, you know, probably going on now close to a decade, I'd say. You know, we've known each other, gone out to Texas, spent time with J. Michael and Judy. We've seen them at convention here coming up. Claudia is going to be coming to our home. I just found that out recently.
Yay! I'm taking you for a birthday surprise.
You know, even Dr. Ogina, you know, Dr. Ogina and I've spent a lot of time together out in Kenya, you know, going to the Nakuru National Park and just getting to know each other. And Dr. Ogina's come to Utah. He's gone to Orlando, went to Disney World when we had convention there in Orlando. You know, so it's about the relationships that you develop with people. And I'll just say this: I mentioned earlier, you know, there's part of this business that even it's, for me, it can be heartbreaking. I remember when that happened back in 2007, when I lost the 2 golds and some of the international diamonds or bronzes at the time. One of them, I had actually flown to Colombia, and he was in Medellin, and I've been to Colombia many times, and I went there. And I'll never forget that his wife grabbed me and gave me a big hug and started crying. And I cried because I knew that there's no way. I mean, I shouldn't say no way, but I had felt after my conversations with him, with her husband, he was going to go with the 2 guys from Spain that were leaving and going somewhere else. All right. Long story. But the point is this, is that it was heartbreaking. And that's part of this business that does hurt. But you know what? The ones that stayed with me today, they got bronzes that are working towards gold, you know? So, you know, it's networking, you guys, but you have to keep your family strong. And that's the relationships, the bond you create. So with that, I want to thank you all. Love you guys. Let's keep going, keep growing. All right. Work on yourself. Be the best networker you can be every day. Try to get better. That only happens through action. That's how you do it. All right. So thank you, Cloudy. I don't know who I pass it back to, if back to Maddie or to you.
Yeah. Maddie can say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you, everyone. It was an amazing, beautiful workshop today, webinar. And I like the idea of identifying people. I'm trying to do my best on that. And yeah, attracting the people that I want in my team. And like now I invited someone, he's from Mexico, he lives in Canada. He's learning English, Luis. He's here, I'm happy. He's excited to be part of the team soon. And that's why I'm building my friend.
Did he stay, Matthew? Because I thought he had left. We want to welcome new guests. Oh, yeah, he's here. Luis, thank you. He just opened his camera for a second. Luis, welcome. This is our time to close, and we close with the best, which is giving that warm welcome to all of our new people, new and for life, or guests that are still not in for life and are checking it out. So, Luis, if you want to say hello, I'm unmuting you right now. You can unmute yourself. Unmute. Luis from Mexico, welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you. I am Luis, friend of Mati.
Thank you, Luis.
Looking forward to
Welcome, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
waiting for you. So just get that, paperwork done and join the family because we're here to support you. This is your international For Life family from Kenya to Canada. There's another friend from Mexico here to help you. So any questions, go back to Maddie. But like Dave said, this is the perfect time. There's not a lot of time to think about things, jump into the wagon, learn as you learn, and let us take you by the hand. Okay, Luis?
Let everybody know too, Claudia, tomorrow's Health
Health
Talk.
Talk. Yep. So Health Talk, thank you, Dr. Gina, cerebral health. And this is a really good topic. Every Tuesday, same time, but not the same room. Cerebral vascular health is one of those things that I believe in the last few years have just gotten a little bit more interesting as more people actually are understanding and getting cerebral vascular problems. Before and after, how do you treat it? How can we supplement? How can we help people? And so what a great topic. Dr. Gina does such a great job. Thank you, Dr. Gina, for all the work that you do every time for not only your team in Africa, for the international community. So thank you, everybody. Let's unlock those mics so we can say hi to each other. Dave, thank you so much. By the way, next Monday, Danielle, you're next Monday or the following Monday? Next Monday, right? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's next Monday.
Next Monday, thank you. So since Dave is heading to convention, next Monday, we actually have, I'm going to let Danielle introduce his talk. Danielle, what's your talk about next Monday, please?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about active and passive recruiting. Yeah, so it's going to be prospecting, sorry, active and passive prospecting. So it's gonna be a fun topic, and so we get more people, especially with all the information we're gonna get from the convention. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah.
So we have Daniel presenting for the first time, but I do want to tell you guys, I have been in his power hours. I am like, what a great person to be leading this Mentor Monday. And I'm enjoying very much all the work he does for the Spanish team. So bring your guests, come ready to learn, he's very active, but he gives a lot of challenges and things that you should do. So make sure that you do not miss next Mentor Monday, because people are thinking, oh, it's convention. No, Mentor Monday, as Dave says, it's always running. Somebody's going to run it. So don't miss it. If you're not going to convention, being your Mentor Monday and recruit. So thank you, everybody. Now it's time to say goodbye to each other. Thanks a lot, Daniel. Thank you for hosting next week.
Thank you, everyone. Keep going.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dave.
very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dave.
everyone.
Thank you, Claudia.
Everybody.
See you
Thank you,
too.
Dave. Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Claudia.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mati.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Maddie.
Yo también me
JT.
Thank you, JT.
Thank you.